From 2010 into the early 2020s, we saw an absolute revolution in camera tech. What a time to be alive. Over the past few years, however, we've hit a bit of a lull. Now, some would see that as boring. I see it as clarity, because here's the thing. When the industry stops turning out new gear every 6 months, you stop second-guessing your decisions. The cameras that were good last year, hey, they're still good, which means this might be the best year to finally pull the trigger on a new purchase. As has become tradition over the past few years, we have partnered again with Joel W. Smith to make our picks for best church cameras in 2026. Joel keeps a website with the most trusted, battle-tested gear in the industry. So let's walk through the picks together, and more importantly, the decisions that should guide which one you actually buy. And as always, we've put together a downloadable guide with every camera recommendation for 2026, organized by category with specs and pricing. Link in the description to grab that. Now, before we talk specific cameras, let's talk about the real decisions that you're going to face as a church, because there are essentially 6 different camera categories, and most churches don't need to think about all of them. So here's how I'd frame it. Decision number 1 is this: manned or unmanned? Do you have camera operators, or do you need the cameras to run themselves? If manned, you'll want to look at the categories of camcorders, mirrorless, cinema, or studio. If unmanned, PTZ cameras are the way to go. Decision number 2, image quality or convenience? Which would your church prioritize? If you had to choose here, mirrorless and cinema cameras look better but generally require more setup. Camcorders and PTZs are easier to operate but have smaller sensors, which means lesser image quality. Decision 3, live production or recorded content? What will be the most important use case for this camera? Live production benefits from features like SDI outputs, tally lights, remote control. Recorded content can get away with just memory cards, basically. Okay, let's start with PTZ cameras, because this is where many churches begin. A PTZ is a camera that can pan, tilt, and zoom remotely. PTZ. No operator needed at the camera itself. You control it from a desk. Our top pick in this category is going to be the Canon CR-N300, coming in at roughly $3,500. What we like about this camera is that it has 20x optical zoom, built-in auto tracking. It matches Canon's camcorder line. And really, this is going to be best for medium to large sanctuaries where you need reach. On the budget side, the Canon CR-N100, coming in at $2,500 roughly, is where I'd look. It's got the same guts as the CR-N300, just without the SDI output. If you're running HDMI anyway, you can save the money there. And then the premium pick, the Sony BRC AM7, about $7,000. This was new for last year in 2025, loaded with features: 1-inch sensor, 20x zoom, 12G SDI, built-in AI auto framing. If budget is not the constraint, this is the one. Now, here's what you need to know about PTZ cameras and setting your expectations appropriately. Good PTZ cameras are not cheap, and about 50% of the cost that you're paying goes to just having that pan, tilt, zoom mechanism. Said differently, a $5,000 PTZ performs like a $2,500 camcorder. You just get the PTZ feature. And while auto tracking has improved, will continue, right now, still not a replacement for a trained operator. And you know, maybe we'll get there. Again, still not yet. One more thing you need to know about PTZ cameras, specifically the Canon models mentioned. We are anticipating new PTZ cameras from Canon to begin shipping this year, like the N350, which would replace the N300. At the time of this recording, these cameras are not shipping yet. They've been announced, not shipping yet. And we like to only recommend cameras that we're confident are great and have had in hand, but depending on when you're watching this, give Joel's website a look. It's linked in the description, and see if he's updated any of these PTZ camera recommendations. Then you'll know. Okay, next category, camcorders. If you have volunteers who can operate cameras, camcorders give you more image quality per dollar than PTZs. And our top pick here is going to be the Canon XA65, $2,500-ish, 20x optical zoom, SDI output, dual XLR inputs. This is the workhorse, reliable, consistent, matches Canon's PTZ colors, which makes it a perfect pairing for the Canon CR-N300 line that we just discussed. For our budget pick, I'd look at the Canon G70, about $1,200. Same sensor as the XA65, the previous camera mentioned, minus the SDI and XLR handle. So if you're running HDMI and using external audio, again, you can save the cash there. For a premium pick, we're looking back to Sony this time, the PXW Z200. The Canadian's coming out, $5,500-ish. Again, this was new for 2025, finally gives the Canon XF605 some competition. 20x optical zoom. The XF605 only has 15. 12G SDI, S-Cinetone color science, and auto framing. Now, here's the important note for 2026. Canon updated their PTZ line with 4K 60p capability, as we mentioned. And it's fair to expect the XA camcorders to get that same update this year. So if you can wait, or depending on when you're watching this, You might get 4K 60 in the XA line soon. And again, if you're like, Brady, this is a lot of information and specs to digest, I get it. Remember, all of this is in the downloadable guide. Every camera, every category, specs and pricing side by side. Grab that in the description. Next category, mirrorless cameras. This is where you get the cinematic look, larger sensors, shallower depth of field, better low light performance, super important for churches. Here's the trade-off. No built-in zoom, no SDI, usually, more setup required in terms of accessories and the like. Our top pick here is the Panasonic S5. You can look to grab this on sale for roughly $1,500. It's got a full frame sensor, incredible value, and Panasonic is known for being reliable as well, not prone to overheating. This camera body rivals cameras 3x its price. Tremendous value. On the budget side, Panasonic again shines here with their G7, about $500. And yes, the G7 is still here. I don't need to hear about it in the comments. The camera is almost 10 years old and it's still selling strong, includes a kit lens, clean HDMI output. This is the cheapest camera that we reliably, realistically recommend to churches and we'll put our stamp on. It's well deserved though. If you want the premium pick in this category, it's got to be the Sony a7S III, around $3,500. Legendary low light performance in this camera, full frame, full size HDMI with dual card slots. This is a wedding videographer's favorite for a reason. It's also the camera I'm recording on right now. It works great for churches as well. Now, here is the honest take on mirrorless cameras for churches. They are great, the best maybe, for pre-recorded content. A bit trickier for live production. If you're streaming live every week, camcorders or PTZs are usually less hassle, but the mirrorless cameras just look buttery. I don't know, I am a sucker for image quality. Give me beauty, even if the trade-off is high maintenance. That's just me. It's just me. Next category, second to last, cinema cameras. Think of cinema cameras like mirrorless cameras just optimized for video purely. That means better cooling, more video features, SDI outputs, and the top pick here is going to be the Blackmagic Pixis 6K, $2,500-ish, full frame, 12G SDI, Genlock input, Blackmagic's REST API, which lets you control it over the network. This camera punches way above its price point, which is awesome for churches. Our budget pick, if you're looking to save even more money, the Sony FX30, roughly $1,800, APS-C sensor, built-in cooling fan, which means no overheating, very important, compact form factor, great autofocus. This is the Just Works option. We use 2 of these in our podcast studio for that reason. And then the premium pick, the Arri Alexa 35 Live. Listen, my job is to show you all the options. What I will not be doing is showing the price of this camera on the screen. It is your job to look at it square in the face on your own time, okay? Jokes aside, this is the best cinema camera on the planet, now somehow built for live production. If you're watching this and considering it, you probably don't need my advice. Congrats to you and your loved ones. You know what I will do? I will put the price of this camera in the downloadable guide, okay? So if you want to see it, it's there. I warned you. Last category, studio cameras. These are purpose-built for live production. Large monitors, tally lights, talkback systems, everything is integrated. Our top pick for 2026 is the Blackmagic Studio Camera 6K Pro in that $2,500 range. Again, it's got a Super 35 sensor, 12G SDI, a built-in 7-inch monitor. It, of course, integrates with Blackmagic's ATEM switchers. It is the value king of the studio camera category. For a budget pick, we're looking again at Blackmagic, this time their Studio Camera 4K Plus G2. Quite the name, $1,300-ish. It's got a Micro Four Thirds sensor. You're going to get the same integration benefits, though, that you get with the more expensive Blackmagic cameras, just with that smaller sensor, which means, less good low-light performance, less good image quality, relatively. Servo zoom lens options are limited here as well, and that's the catch to be aware of. Our premium pick, back to our friends at Sony, the HDC F5500. This is the broadcast grade Super 35 sensor, and when I say broadcast grade, I'm talking NFL broadcast territory. The price falls in line with what you would expect there. Finally, something worth noting. You may have noticed that Canon nearly sweeps our PTZ and camera categories. What's nice about that is that you can pick and choose, mix and match between them. So here's the lineup that all matches. You're seeing it on the screen. Now, why can and does this work? Color matching. When you cut between cameras in a live production, you want them to look the same. Mixing brands, listen to me, is a headache. Canon here makes it easy. Camcorder, PTZ, mix and match, it's all gonna work. Bottom line, in 2026, you are free to stop waiting for the next thing, unless, of course, you're waiting for those Canon updates. Okay, one caveat. The cameras on this list are not going to be replaced next month. Again, for that caveat. If you've been holding off, perhaps this is the year to buy. Here's the key. Buy what you can afford to buy right, okay? A Canon CRN100 with a proper controller is superior than a CRN500 that you can't afford to set up properly. Also, match your ecosystem. If you already have Canon, stay there. If you already have Blackmagic switchers, go get Blackmagic cameras. And lastly, don't overbuy, okay? A Panasonic G7 at $500 can produce better content than a Sony a7S III if you know what you're doing, okay? Go grab the guide. Every camera we talked about today, PTZ, Camcorder, Mirrorless, Cinema, Studio, all in one downloadable PDF, specs, pricing, and our top picks for 2026. Link is in the description. And if you want to go deeper on church tech, production, and creative ministry, that's what we do here every week. Subscribe if you have not. And thanks as always for your time, attention, and trust. I'll talk to you soon.